Use formulae for perimeter and area to find the area. So to figure out the area, we use this formula, area equals length times width. If we try and solve it now, we'll find out we haven't got quite enough information. We've got the length, which is 6, and that would be multiplied by the width, but we don't have it. So let's just see what the width is. We've got the perimeter, so we can use a perimeter formula to help us figure out what the missing side is. So let's call the missing side, right? Let's call that x. Okay, so perimeter equals, we can use this formula, 2L plus 2W, and now let's just solve it through. So we're given the perimeter, so we can substitute, and 2 times L, we're given the length, plus 2, and we've decided to call the width x, because it's an unknown. And let's just tidy that up. So 2 times 6 is 12 plus 2x. And now we can just solve for x. So let's cancel out 12 on both sides by doing the inverse to positive 12, which is minus 12. So that's gone. And what we're left with on this side is 2x. 12 minus 12 is 20 minus 12, sorry, is 8. We do the inverse to get rid of multiplying by 2. The inverse of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. And again, you do it to both sides. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. That leaves x on the right, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So the answer is x equals 4 meters. So we now know that x is actually worth 4. So we can substitute that into the formula. So area equals 6 times 4, which is 24 meters. It's area, so squared. If you use the other formula, it would have played out like this. So P equals 2 brackets L plus W, so length plus width. Substitute 20, 2, that'll be 6 plus, now we don't know what the width is. Remember we called it X. For the next line, we multiply out of the bracket. So 2 times 6 is 12, and 2 times plus X is plus 2X. And then from there, we just cancel out the 12 from both sides, left with 2x, 20 minus 12 is 8, do the inverse of multiplying by 2, we're left with x, right, and that is 4, and so again, you're left with that. For the next one, again, let's start with A equals length times width. We do know what the length is, so 11.5, and the width we don't know, so let's fill that in later. And ultimately we'll come up with our answer. So we need to figure out what the missing side is in order to do area, because we don't know what the width is. So let's call the width here x, and let's use a formula for perimeter. So 2L plus 2W, and now let's substitute. We know the perimeter is 29, we're given that information, equals 2. We said the length was 11.5 plus 2. And we don't know what the width is, but we've called it x for now. And let's tidy all this up. So 29 equals 2 times 11.5 is 23, plus 2 times x is 2x. We cancel out the 23 by doing the inverse. Got to do it to both sides. We're left with 2x, and that is 29 minus 23 is 6. Divide by 2 on both sides to cancel out that multiplying by 2. We're left with x. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so we now know that x equals 3 meters. Again, if you were to do it with the other equation, the other formula, sorry, it would have played out like this. P equals 2L plus W, 29 equals 2, 11.5 plus x, and that would be 29 equals 23 plus 2x. We cancel 23, so that's gone, and we're left with 2x. On this side it's 6, multiply by 2, divide by 2, so that leaves us with x. On the right, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and so we're left with x equals 3 meters, same as if we had the other formula to be used. And we now know what the x is. The x, according to our calculations, is 3 meters, so I can substitute it in, and 11.5 times 3 equals 34. 34.5 meters, its area, and so that's the final answer. And in the final question, again, let's start off, we need the area, so let's see what we're needing. Area equals length, we don't have it, but we do have the width, which is 2. So let's try and figure out what the missing side is. Let's call that missing side x. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W, that's the formula we're going to use. Let's substitute 17, and then it's 2, what is it, x plus 2 times 2. We're given the width, so that would be 17 equals 2x plus 2 times 2 is 4. Let's go to the next level. We're going to cancel that out. So we do the inverse. That's now gone. 2x. 17 minus 4 is 13. We now cancel that out. Do the same to the other side. So multiply by 2 divided by 2 cancels it out, leaving x on the right. And 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. And so x for sure is 6.5 meters. Okay, if we use the other formula, it would have played out like this. So P equals 2 length plus width. So 2 lengths and widths. We substitute, we've got the 17 perimeter that was here. And are we given, nope, we're not given the length, but we are given the width. And then we just multiply out. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times plus 2 is plus 4. Then we cancel out the plus 4. So we're left with 2x. 17 minus 4 is 13. Divide by 2. Do the inverse of timesing by 2, remember. That leaves us with x. And that leaves us 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. And again, we're left with the same answer. X is 6.5. Unit of measurement is meters. So this is 6.5. Substitute into the formula. The length is 6.5. The area equals 6.5 times 2. And that's 13 meters squared.